What do you do when you feel hopeless? Hey, if you're here, you're tuned in to another Laesaidit commentary and awareness video. Let's get into it. Again, what do you do when you feel hopeless? I'm not talking about when you're having a bad day. I'm talking about those moments when life feels so heavy that you genuinely don't know how you're going to make it through. When you're tired, when you're disappointed, when you're hurt, when you're sitting there wondering, God, how much longer am I supposed to do this? For me, I talk to God. And when I say I talk to God, I mean I really talk to God. I talk to him like he's sitting right in front of me. I tell him exactly why I feel the way I feel. I tell him what I'm angry about. I tell him what I'm afraid of. And I tell him what hurts. And then I ask him, what am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do? How am I supposed to get through this? And when I'm finished, I always end my prayer by saying, thank you for changing this situation in my life for the better. Thank you for turning it around. And I say that because I have to believe that things can change. And for me, it just further confirms that in a moment of struggle or heartache or heartbreak or sadness, it's temporary. It is temporary. And I do that because that's what I was taught. Now, what about the kids who don't know how to do that? What about the child who has never been taught how to pray? What about the child who doesn't know where to turn? What about the child who has been neglected since birth, abused, abandoned, forgotten, and ignored? Yes, those are the kids that we're talking about in this video. And if you've been over here before, you've probably already guessed that I am talking about the kids of Shanika Grant, aka Colossal Cat, and Hayward Yarbrough, aka the Demented Donor. Let's get into it. Oh, and by the way, I'm Lay, not to be confused with anyone else or anything else. There's only one Lay, and you just so happen to be on her channel. Hopefully you watch the video in its entirety, and towards the end you feel comfortable enough to share your thoughts, subscribe to my channel, and watch my older videos. Now, this is my personal opinion, but I don't think there was ever a day that the woman, the mom, the incubator, the breeder, Shanika Grant, aka Colossal Cat, I don't think there was ever a day that she looked at her kids and she felt love. She felt the strong desire to protect them, to guide them correctly, to lead them. I don't think that is a feeling that has ever crossed her mind. And I also don't think a feeling of those kids ever truly feeling loved, protected, guided, and safe. I unfortunately don't think that's something they've ever felt either. And I know that I shouldn't be surprised, because this is a 41-year-old woman that has been a mother for 20 years and absolutely nothing has changed. She has done absolutely nothing to even indicate that she desires to change. And what I just showed you was a snippet of her showing off her bed, her air conditioner, and her TV in her new room. And yeah, so I know. Who cares? I do. I care that she has an air conditioner, a bed, and a television when her 8 kids, they're sleeping on the floor. They don't have the luxury of having a bed. They have pissy or shitty clothing. They don't have the luxury of having an air conditioner. They just hope that she'll feel sorry for them and say, hey, come in my room for a minute and cool down. They don't have the same type of luxuries she do, because she's the type of mother where she doesn't believe her kids are worthy of things as simple, something as simple as an air conditioner, a comfortable bed, and a television. And just in case you're wondering where the father, Hayward Yarbrough, is, he's currently on your screen right now. But to answer your question, he's everywhere but doing what he should do as a father as it pertains to his kids with Shanika Grant. Now, about a week ago, I messaged his wife on Instagram. I wasn't ugly. I just merely asked her. I think I posted a photo of it. I'm going to check to make sure, and you guys can look at it. But I messaged her and I said, hey, I know that Hayward is your husband, and I know that these are not your kids, and you may not even think that this is your responsibility. But since you're married to their father, could you please talk to him? Could you let him know that his kids are still being neglected? His kids are still being abused. His kids are still living like it's 1724. And either he's going to step up and be the father those kids need, because it wouldn't be nothing to get them from Colossal Cat, or he's going to sign his rights over. Maybe that's the best thing that him and Colossal Cat should do, because for you to know what's happening, and maybe a little of my anger, maybe I took a little bit of it out on the wife, because she seemed to be the only adult that had a open line of communication when it comes to people expressing their frustration as it pertains to those kids. But after I messaged her, whatever, for about 3 days, I waited on a response, and I didn't think she would respond. I recall even telling her in the message, even if you don't respond, I'm not going to bother you anymore, but please just think about it. And of course, she did not respond. She blocked me. And when that happened, I immediately felt extreme sadness for those kids. Because like I said earlier, there doesn't seem to be one adult in their lives who's willing to step up, step in, step down, or anything. And at this point, I don't want to say we're beating a dead horse, but maybe we're just gonna have to come to terms with it, that Colossal Cat isn't a mom. She's never going to be one. Hayward Yarbrough isn't a father. He's never going to be one. And Belinda Yarbrough, she's never going to be the stepmother that those kids deserve. It disappointed me, because she's always talking about God this, God that. Well, God moves with love, and I thought that she would have did the same for those kids. But hey, like I said, these aren't her kids. These are merely assumptions that I'm making, considering she's married to their father. And with that being said, I'm going to end the video here. There's nothing new to share about Colossal or Hayward. And sadly, there's nothing new to share about the kids. School will start very soon. They won't have uniforms. They won't have clean school clothes. They won't have a hairdo. They won't have a haircut. They won't have shoes. So at this point, we're going to pray for them. And we're going to hope that somehow, some way, something bigger than us, bigger than Colossal, Hayward, Belinda, the DSS system in Sumter, South Carolina, intervenes and steps in for those kids, and real change can happen for once in their lives. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that it's so brief. But until next time, remember, I'm not the 1, the 2, or the 3. I'm not him. I'm not her. She ain't me. I'm Laesaidit. Enjoy.